Back at home in Nigeria, in energy news now, Heirs Energies, an indigenous integrated energy firm, has signed on 5 off-taking companies in a joint venture that keys into Nigeria's gas flaring commercialization program. The signing event held earlier today here in Lagos was applauded by representatives of the upstream regulatory body, the NUPRC, and the NNPC Limited. Heirs Energies is looking to turn waste from its OML-17 oil block in the onshore Niger Delta into gas for home and industrial usage, reduce Nigeria's carbon emissions, and contribute to the country's energy security.
This signing ceremony cannot be more timely, especially given the global events, that affect both security, energy availability, and the issue of emission that we are all experiencing, and in particular, the issue of energy transition. We are all aware of the global call to transition to cleaner and more sustainable source of energy, both in Nigeria, in Africa, and all parts of the world, as it were. And of course, this has, it has a mismatch. It has both positive and negative. And for us, that has, in a way, created a challenge of even attracting financing into the upstream industry for us. So we have this key core mandate to do something about what energy transition, so that Nigeria could be on a better platform to be able to attract the needed investment into our oil and gas industry, as it were. So on that note, again, we are very happy that Heirs Energy is keying into the government initiative to commercialize flare gas by, of course, having all these flare gas off-takers that here today to sign this agreement. So Nigeria in our energy transition plan has clearly elucidated that gas will serve as our national transition fuel, as it were. And this commitment has been made from the very top by the president himself, as the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who has pledged that Nigeria will strive toward achieving net zero by 2060. That is our national pledge to the world, that here by 2060 we are going to achieve a net zero in terms of emission and energy utilization. So flare gas commercialization has been identified as a critical step towards decarbonization in the upstream petroleum industry. And its actualization will therefore serve a central role as Nigeria navigates through this rapidly evolving energy landscape. So this program is very key. The government for the oil industry, the upstream aspect, the NGLCP and program of this nature are very key. That is the vehicle we are using for the upstream industry to make contribution to that national determined contribution that Nigeria has made. So at this junction, I would like to comment on how this project seamlessly align with the spirit behind the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021. The complete elimination of gas flaring and the decarbonization of oil and gas operations was implicitly enshrined in the PIA 2021. How is that? Because all oil and gas producing companies are now mandated by law to provide a gas utilization plan. You must have a gas utilization plan as you are coming forward for your FDP before their field development plan can be approved. So you must have this plan. This is how I'm going to monetize my gas. This is how I'm going to handle my gas so that there's not going to be routine gas flaring. So that is new development coming on board. But for those that are traditionally developed fields that are out there, so we need to come up with this kind of solution so that we can also bring them into that basket of assets that there are no routine flaring going on. And it is good to remind ourselves, for instance, now that the World Bank data on gas flaring shows that Nigeria prominently ranks among the top 10 gas flaring. And if you look at that, look at our population. We are talking about over 200 million population in Nigeria. the desire for energy. He just mentioned it. Look at the energy consumption in Nigeria compared to, he gave us example of Belgium, example of the US, compared to the whole of Africa, not talk of Nigeria. And yet we have these valuable resources. So we must do something to convert that waste to wealth. And that is what this project is all about.
So our gas agenda is very simple. As a number of people know, we're on a mission to address Africa's energy needs. It's very simple. And we are starting with Nigeria. So MS-17 is actually the start for us, not the end or the case. And for gas, we are looking at, we have 3 key pillars. The first pillar is to grow the production. The second pillar is to eliminate routine flaring. And the third pillar is to expand the gas value chain. And what you will see here today, we will talk about more, is eliminating the routine flaring. However, there is a key component of catalyzing value chain expansion as a result of these agreements that we have written. But suffice it to say that you will hear more, particularly on that third pillar, from next year. So we have doubled gas production, and by doubling gas production, because most of the power plants in the east are supplied by us, we have more than tripled electricity generation in the eastern part of Nigeria. And today, we are symbolically signing, or we have signed, and this is a symbolic event to mark the signing of 5 offtake agreements. Next slide. So if I just talk about the gas growth quickly. So we took the asset at about 50 million scf of gas per day. And following the challenges in the beginning with theft, we focused on oil. And in 2024, we de-risked the oil system, and we had achieved the production levels we have today. And in 2025, internally we call 2025 our year of gas. And the results are showing. And it's not just for us, it's for Nigeria. So as I mentioned, we've doubled gas production from 50 million scf to over 120 million scf. At around 50 million scf, we're only able to supply about 30 million scf of gas into the market because we need 20 for ourselves, for our own use and other things. But by the time we're at 120 million scf, we are now essentially pushing about 100 million scf into the eastern domestic market every day. The impact of that is catalytic. So all the power plants are at full capacity. For those who live in eastern Nigeria, they see the difference every day. My colleagues are very proud of the fact that they live in Port Harcourt, and the work they do every day is changing life for many people, for homes, for businesses, for small businesses, for large businesses, and for every endeavor that goes on. And we've done this without massive capital investment. With innovation, we have reactivated wells that were dead, and we have completed some critical projects that were ongoing. So for us, what we call ourselves the brownfield champions, is not just appellations, it's from delivery. The fact is there, the track record is there. Then when we talk about what we are here today, gas flare. So we had no off-takers for gas flare before now. Most of our gas was being, most of our facilities have gas gathering compressors, but one key one doesn't, and then there's still the routine flaring that the gas gathering facility couldn't gather. The first thing in our gas agenda to eliminate routine flaring was we embraced the NUPRC's program for the gas flare commercialization. We embraced it wholeheartedly. And where there's lots of challenge and maybe some operators are having tensions over this, we embraced it, we embraced the off-takers, and we have enabled them to get to this point. And And I'm proud to say, as just like the CCE's representative said, we are pioneers, we are the lead in signing the connection agreements. We have then gone on beyond what the NGFCP stipulated to then activate more off-takers. And we have 3 additional off-takers who are then put onto this program to expand the program. So for us, it's not just about doing it because it is regulation. We are doing it because we truly believe that we have a critical role to address Africa's energy challenges.